British food is better than American food.
You heard it here first.
Wasn't always true. So now we're gonna do this as a throuple. Here in the States, people have a really bad perception of British food. I want to change that narrative. This is meant to be an homage to what a lot of people think is the original Scotch egg.
Oh my. Hey, what's up? I brought my friend with me today, Jeremy.
Awesome. Hey man, how are you?
Excited to be here. Thanks for having us at Lord.
Excited to have you.
Yeah. Can we cook some things?
Well, let's do it. We're gonna put you guys to work today. We'll make some Scotch eggs, we'll make some burgers, we'll make sticky toffee pancakes.
Ooh, I haven't had those yet, so.
Oh, they're awesome.
I haven't had the pancakes yet either.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Scotch eggs, the first thing. The classic Lord's dish. This is meant to be an homage to what a lot of people think is the original Scotch egg, as well as this really like punchy, amped up, flavorful thing.
Sounds delicious.
I'm gonna start by wrapping the egg in the sausage, and then I'll have you guys help me with the breading part.
Cool.
Okay.
I should roll my sleeves probably.
You should, yeah. So the sausage is ground fresh every day with some nice lamb shoulder. It's kind of important that we flatten it out. So we wanna wrap it evenly around the egg. And now we have our egg wrapped in sausage. So now we're gonna do this as a throuple.
What do we have here in the thruffle?
Standard paneing or breadcrumbing. We're always at our core catering to the New York market, but it's really cool to show a different side of what English food can be. Lord's is a nod to the most famous cricket ground in the world, North London. The style of the restaurant tells the other part of the modern British cookery. Trying to find this balance between turning people onto new things and showing them how good traditional British food can be. British food is better than American food today.
You heard it here first.
Wasn't always true.
I was in London last year. It hadn't been like 20 years. Okay. I had some incredible meals. Some of it though, I was like, like a little salt would be nice. I got in big trouble. I was like, I would love it to be seasoned a little bit more.
Right.
People are like, take that American shit back. I was like, I'm sorry. I just wanted a little bit more salt in these things.
Yeah. No, I think there's room for all these perspectives. Did you try any like quirky British? Did you try jellied eels? Any of the crazy stuff?
The place I got in trouble was the pie and mash place.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I
good
just wanted a little bit of. They're like, well, there's salt and vinegar. I was like, yeah, but I could go to a restaurant for the chef to season it the way that it should be seasoned. I don't want to do all this stuff.
Well, we do season it a little bit more here.
Definitely season it well.
Well, the interesting thing about American food is taken from all parts of the world.
Exactly.
And so there's not really American food, it's from other cultures.
Right.
And so we're lucky enough to say we kind of have a little
Get
bit
the best of everything.
We got the best
right?
of everything, yeah.
Look at that. Beautiful. Let's fry it.
Yeah.
What's your secret to getting the egg perfect for it? Because you're cooking it first and then deep frying it, right?
I told you the secret. I would never answer. No, I'm kidding.
But you do it so well.
6 minutes and 20 seconds.
6 minutes and
All right.
20 seconds, down to a science.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 6 minutes and 30 seconds, too long.
Yeah.
6:10, and you've got a raw egg in the middle.
Tell us about this space, because I feel like we walk in here and we are like instantly transported to a British pub.
The idea was to cook a modern, updated style of British cuisine. Here in the States, people have a really bad perception of British food, right? Like, everyone thinks British food sucks. So I want to change that narrative. And part of that is keeping it feeling relevant for Lower Manhattan. You know, we're just on the border of Soho here. People come in for nights out. People come in for neighborhood dinners. We want to feel like they're in a nice place. We never want to be too stuffy or over the top. We want you to feel like you're in a pub, but a nice one.
Now, your journey from home to here, what was that like and why'd you make that choice to come here?
I was born and raised in London. I went to university, studied economics, got an internship at a firm called BlackRock, huge asset manager. Decided I hated that, not for me. Started cooking instead. It's not a job that people in the suburb I grew up considered as a profession, really. You're sort of going to be doctor, banker, lawyer. But cooking really appealed to me. I loved the energy of the kitchen. I loved how visceral it was, how you made stuff with your hands. And I loved eating food. Like, I've always been very passionate about food from a very young age. All right, we've got your perfectly fried Scotch egg here. And perfectly breaded, too. Look at that. Look at that. No flaws.
Just giving myself a little pat on the back.
Do you want to pick your favorite fancy vintage plate?
I'm partial to green, always.
All right.
Let's see a little green in there.
Yeah. You grew up in the UK. You eat Indian food at least once a week. Like, it's a huge, huge part of the culture. They say chicken tikka masala is considered the national dish of the UK. Bringing some of that influence to this restaurant, I felt was very appropriate.
Oh my.
So 6 minutes and 20 seconds.
God.
I was working 80 hours a week for free. And when I started in that kitchen, I didn't know how to hold a knife, chop something, like very basic culinary skills. And after I graduated university, I had this time, it's like, well, if I'm not gonna move to New York now, then when? I got on a plane and moved out here. Started working in kitchens here. I was 21 at the time. Awesome time to move to New York as a young kid. This is, 12, 13 years ago now. And then traveling a bit, and then came back to New York. And at that time, my girlfriend, now wife, like, we should do our own thing. And so that's when the plans were hatched for this style of restaurant. 6 days into our very first pop-up, we were trying to raise money from investors, very tricky thing to do. So I was so open about it now with young cooks who come and ask us for advice, because people get in the front door and then they draw up the gate and they don't let other people in. So it's important to us that we've been successful with this, and we have access to these resources now to share that with other people who are looking to get into our sort of position in the industry, because we need more of them. People of our era might be the last set of line cooks who really did the line cooking for 10 years before becoming sous chefs and then chefs.
I'm excited. Let's try this. First bite.
Okay, handhelds?
Handheld.
Okay.
Cheers.
Sure. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
That, like, the spice gets you.
Yeah.
You don't get it at first, and you're like, ooh, it's like tingling in my mouth.
I like the crunch into the meatiness.
Yeah. Dish 2.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little more complicated. I'm gonna have you guys do a little bit more work. We're gonna make our sticky toffee pancakes. These are, at their core, a really fluffy, light, airy pancake that we cook in butter, get it crispy all around the edges. Then we smother it in this salted caramel sauce and a big dollop of creme fraiche and sea salt on top. And we put dates in the pancake.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I can have you work simultaneously on this if you guys are cool with it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who wants to chop the dates? Who wants to whisk the batter?
I'll whisk.
I was going to do rock, paper, scissors.
You hesitated.
You got to be alive, Adrian. I think a lot of times with what you were saying about gatekeeping things from folks who also want to get into this industry, it's nice to see that you want to still share your passion with people and help them succeed, because I think that's one of the toughest parts of the restaurant industry. And this is as a person who's looking at it from the outside. It's hard to get a start, and it's hard to find someone that can be a mentor to.
Yeah.
It is a very competitive, especially in New York.
And selfishly as well, I want great restaurants to eat at. Like, I need other young chefs who care about food to keep opening restaurants. Let me jump in here for a second.
Jeremy's eyes. Oh wow, you were not.
Well,
I've never,
I mean, you know.
I've never seen someone whisk this way before.
We really want to get. If I'm gonna talk the talk, I gotta walk the walk too, and actually support them.
Agreed.
The best regulars we have are people who started just giving us a chance, and then they said, "Wow, this was really delicious." That's the comment we hear here more than most others. Like, I was surprised that it was good. It's like you came out thinking you were gonna have a bad dinner.
You guys just launched brunch service recently. It's like super, super buzzy. What was your ideas behind adapting your dinner menu into that?
We started doing brunches as one-off events a couple years ago as fundraisers. We wanted to support a cause, and the restaurant's busy, the 6 nights of the week we're open. We're like, well, we'll just come in a bit early, we'll make brunch, and we'll raise some money for charities. We did a couple of those, and the reception was great. People were like, can you do this? All the time. Then we have all our traditional chef worries about brunch, like, oh, we gotta get there really early.
Staff is like, ooh.
Yeah, staff doesn't love the idea. So a lot of reasons why we held off on doing it for a while. But I keep coming back to if my customers want something, I want to give it to them. We're in the hospitality business. You don't get very far here by not being hospitable to people. Now we've got this nice looking pancake dough. The whole more butter, more better idea is something we live by here. The butter, the fat is the conduit that gets the edges so crispy. Once you've done the first flip, it then is pretty easy. We want you to feel like you can come to this restaurant that you love and still get the things you love about it, but that we can also show you something new and exciting.
Family photo. It's is that your brother, sister? Really? You guys are related?
Oh. I'd still eat it.
Yeah, honestly,
eat it.
If you put these 3 things in front of us and you said they all taste the same, which one would people gravitate towards? I wonder.
Well, there's also a reason they pay me to do this. Yeah. All right, we're ready to plate up our pancakes.
Let's do it.
Ooh.
That is that nice, crunchy edge, but fluffy on the inside pancake. This is the magic trick here, though.
So rich.
And I like to be quite generous with this. It's really gonna soak into every pore of the pancake.
And if you're gonna do it, you should do it.
Exactly. We're gonna do creme fraiche on top. Finish it with some flaky sea salt. And that is our sticky toffee pancake.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. I'm impressed.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Dish 3, the finale.
That's right. This is the reason there are lines outside the restaurant at 5:30. So it's prime chuck, ground twice. We're gonna cook it on the plancha. Lots of butter, glazing it up. Plancha. Then when it comes off the plancha, we're gonna finish it with some Worcestershire sauce, very English. And then we're gonna top it with our rarebit cheese that we make in-house.
That is an enormous amount of cheese. Wow.
Oh yeah. Serve it on a pretzel bun, raw white onion, little crack of black pepper, that's it. It's very simple.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think great burgers need all the bells and whistles. I don't need lettuce, onion, tomato, bacon, chipotle mayo. I don't need any of that. Just want really good meat, really good bun, really good cheese, and then something to provide a little textural contrast. Get in there.
And start your third meal of the day, fourth meal of the day.
So pretty hard.
Perfectly cooked.
How is it?
The meat.
Wow. It's just so rich.
You said you chop it twice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can. That for me is one of the things you can tell, because sometimes you find these like uneven spaces when you cook burgers of how they were cooked. I think because it's so fine, it's like perfect all the way through.
That's a good
Oh my
dance.
god!
A good dance. You haven't had this before, right? You have, though, right?
Well, I was wondering. I'm like, what do you mean there's no burgers? And then I was like, okay.
Yeah. Making burgers for me is not like one of my core passions when I got into the world of cooking. Like if we're gonna do it, like how do we do something that's creative, delicious, and still simple? So I'm really proud that this is where we settle.
10 out of 10, job well done. Thank you for showcasing skill set with the menu. Like the diversity of what we went through today was a food journey. Glad I could bring a friend along.
Yeah,
today.
That's my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
I'll give you a fist bump because
Yeah,
we're all grease on our fingers. Come see him at Lord's. You won't be disappointed. You'll be full and happy, I promise you. Thank you, Ed.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And get the proper English chips. The best
Yes.
fries in New York City.
Thank you. Thank you.
And don't let us flip your food.